Well, we are now having a special segment on fascinating film, The Life and Death of Max Linder. In fact, as now we prepare for the film release, now we are sitting down with the director Edward Porembny and for an exclusive interview. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Welcome
How are
to
you?
TVP World.
Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. So tell us a little bit about the idea behind this film. I imagine it's because a lot of people don't, when they hear the name Max Linder, nothing really comes up.
Absolutely, it's true. Actually, it was the same with me. Initially, it happened that when I was editing my film in Marseille, because I do quite a lot of films in France or with French culture, my editor brought me a piece of paper with article about Max Linder. Linder in French or Linder in English. Mm-hmm. His true name was Maximilien Gabriel Leviel. And I read this article about him saying, wow, this guy, son of the simple family from Saint-Loubès next to Bordeaux, in 20 years of career became to be the first, most important actor, star in France, first most important star in Europe, exported to the United States. He was a teacher of Charlie Chaplin. Charlie built his persona of Charlie observing Max Linder. And when he come back to Europe after really exposing his life and doing fantastic films and being really big star there, he fell in love with the most beautiful but very young lady. They got married, and 2 years later, when he was 42, he and her committed suicide, leaving everything behind. Unfortunately, his jealous brother received in the will all films of Max Linder, and one day, in kind of craziness moment, he opened all those films, dig huge hole in his garden, and threw all those films there and buried. And there's really small amounts of films available. And I was reading that, I was thinking, wow, let's go to make a super film about that. And we have huge problems, and then maybe I will tell you about that. So that's, quite often happen when you do something like that. And then one moment, I was just picking up my personal things and just read inside article about my first film, long time ago, 1989, short film, and then short film was actually shown in Max Linder Panorama Cinema in Paris. I didn't know that, and that was like kind of push something in me saying you have to make this film.
This was the moment when you decided to do this film.
Yes.
And I now really want to pause and now do an honorable mention of the film's visuals because the style is absolutely captivating. So how did you approach now blending the reenacted, for instance, interviews with archival footage? What challenges did the team face?
Well, that's the biggest challenge of this film, and that's why it took 8 years to make this film, so substantial amounts of time, with all ups down of making such a film. Of course, several times we thought that we will not finish that, but somehow still something pushed us, maybe the Max Linder who observed us and all fame around that, this guy. But you see, one moment we kind of changed idea from making films straight to the TV documentary style on something more complex. Of course, economically speaking, some problems arrived, some people went, disappear, some lack of funding, so push us to be more creative. And then artificial intelligence and neural networks appear then like something which is kind of new. And we thought about, well, how about maybe use that, but that's just at the beginning, to create something from nothing. Recreate what is not in, but still having absolutely something which we really take care the documentation. So everything is accurate, everything is true, everything happened, really. But there was no material to showing it. So I had the idea, well, let's go to switch all story in 1925. 1st November 1925, when Max Linder died. So next year will be 100th anniversary of death of Max Linder. And let's go to stay there, how documentary filmmaker from that period would make a film about Max Linder, like I would make film now, about somebody who just died now. What he will do? He will do investigation. So I done exactly the same things, recreate investigation about why man who has everything, commits suicide with his wife. Is it true, etc. So we started to recreate things and discover with professor from one university across the world, another professor, another doctor, how we can create with artificial intelligence and neural networks something from the past and bring to the present with idea that actually we still have something from the past with the sound 24 frame by second. Everything looks like today, but at the same time something which is in the past. So we have feeling being there, richly speaking, but physically speaking, it's not possible because everybody dead a long time ago.
That sounds incredibly fascinating. Now, if you could quickly tell us when and where will we be able to see this film?
So the first presentation of the film on festival will be on festival, wonderful festival, Millenium Dogs Against Gravity. The first one will be on the 13th of May at 8:30 in the evening. Then we'll have another one following day on the 14th of May at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Wonderful.
In Illusion.
Perfect. So if our viewers want to visit and see this marvelous production, make sure to see it just on a Monday. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and bringing your wonderful story and your wonderful movie to light.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to see you. And I hope really now we need to kind of push people just to see it and make this wonderful character be seen and known by many people.
Most definitely, and now I feel like that's
Thank you,
a wrap
sir.
for
Edward Porembny, a director of Life and Death of Max Linder.